years old, had a very long work career of about 38 years. But my retirement years, which are about 35, 33, I think exactly, I've been just as busy then as I was when I was working. So I've always had a really healthy diet, mostly because I really enjoy it. I think, growing up eating healthy food, you just continue throughout your life. And I call myself a pescatarian because I do eat seafood. But I pretty much eat seafood, and it's pretty much a Mediterranean diet, except for eating. I love salmon and tuna. Yeah. My advice is always so simple about keeping your weight under control. Two things: portion control. Just don't put too much on your plate. When you're 5 pounds overweight, lose it. So those are all very easy things, but apparently they're very hard to do because we have an obesity epidemic in this country.
What kind of things do you do to keep busy that you might recommend to others?
Well, since I had a long career, and I was majored in chemistry, so my career at Standard Oil of Ohio was pretty much related to science. But while I was working, I went to graduate school at Case Western and got a degree in organizational development.
Hmm.
So when I got retired, I formed my own company called Organizational Concepts. And I worked with small organizations on, planning, setting goals, that type of thing. For me, setting goals is really important. I've done this my entire life. Is I want to do something. I set a goal and then I figure out how to achieve it. So, for example, when I biked across the United States when I was 71, so I read about this woman who took a group of women from California to Florida. Read about her in the paper, biking. They were breast cancer survivors because she credited biking with getting herself back to good health after she had breast cancer. So I thought, now, wouldn't this be a fun thing to do? So I called her up and I said, are you going to do this next year? And she said, yes. I said, can I sign up? And she said, yes. So I sent my $200 in. She didn't ask me anything about biking. I didn't even have a bike. So I called my daughter and I said, we're going to get bikes for both of us and you're going to train me to get ready for this trip. I mean, this was a goal that I set. So I worked like crazy for a year. I did spinning. I had hired somebody to work with me, and we biked. My daughter and I biked every day that we could, and I was ready to go. And I made it. And I love being in organizations. I serve on 4 boards. I'm president of a board that supports the Cleveland Orchestra. I think staying busy is important.
Some of the things you do to keep busy, it sounds like exercising, being on boards of different organizations, setting goals for yourself.
I do tap dancing. Now, you might think that's strange, but as a child, I always wished that I could have done tap dancing. So when I got older, and I still take classes. Love gardening. I'm outside a lot.
Tell me a little bit about your exercise. What do you do? So, I know you can't tap dance right now. What type of exercises are you doing?
Well, right now I'm having to take it easy. I have a little bit of a problem with a kidney
Mm.
has been bleeding, and
Oh,
so I'm trying to take it easy
good.
much as I can. But I have you probably can't see it. It's called a gazelle. Do you know what those are? I mean,
Mm-mm.
it's like skiing, upper arm
Mm.
and legs. I do that.
Mhm.
It's sitting in my family room, and so I see it all the time. And walking. And just because I do a lot of yard work and I have 5.5 acres, so when I had a Fitbit and could measure my mile, there were days when I had 10, 12 miles just in a day working around my property. So I
Uh,
don't go to a fitness center or anything like that. I just stay active.
if somebody is, watching this and they're young or they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s and they're thinking like, what can I do to age well and to stay mobile? What would you recommend to them? What would be like the top 3 things that you would say, "Start doing this now and make this a lifestyle"?
Well, definitely diet. I think I mentioned that. Don't ever let yourself get overweight. Wait. Don't wait till you're 50 pounds overweight. When you're 5, lose the 5. That's so much easier. It's not so much overwhelming. And I think staying involved with activities, uh, cer- and hobbies. I've had a hobby all my whole life of painting. I thought I was going to be an artist, and then I discovered chemistry, and that was the end of art. But art has been my hobby. I've done it very seriously. Entered art shows, that type of thing.
Is there anything else that you'd wanna share about yourself that you think attributes to your ability to really thrive in your 90s?
Well, I don't think about how old I am. And it's just a number. I don't think about it. I don't say, "Oh, I'm in my 90s, I can't do that." I really, I try to do as much as I can. And I honestly, when people look at me, they don't think I'm 92. I don't act like 92. Uh, so, uh, so I just don't think about age. I just keep doing what I've always been doing and enjoying life. And I realize that, even though you lose your spouse early, it isn't the end of life. I can still keep doing things, which I do, and I still take care of my house on 5.5 acres. It's a lot of work, and of course, I need some help, but I do a lot too with the gardens and that type of thing. So I do have to make younger friends because most of my friends that were my age are gone, and another thing that I've done is I attend all my class reunions at the school where Ohio Wesleyan. Uh, I went to my 70th reunion in 2019. There were only 2 people in my class that came. A friend of mine who also majored in chemistry. So, anyhow, there's a parade of classes. The oldest class there leads the parade. So the 2 of us carried the banner, and the class behind us said, "You're walking too fast." Anyway, so I'm hoping I can make it to my 75th reunion, in which case I'd be 97 or some such thing. But it's a goal. I have this goal to get to my class reunion. So we'll see if that works out.
I don't have any other specific questions, but is there anything else you wanna add?
Staying in touch with family. My sister passed away at 97 when I was, oh, well, I guess I did forget to tell you one thing. After my husband died, I got this book from National Geographic called The 35 Wonders of the World. So I thought, wouldn't that be an interesting theme for traveling? So I started to do this. There's 7 ancient, 7 medieval, 7 modern, 7 natural, 7 underwater. So the underwater wasn't, now what am I going to do? So I had to learn to snorkel so I could visit the underwater wonders of the world. So there are 7 underwater, and I managed to get to 5 of those, some many times. Uh, um, 2 of them were not possible. One is in uh, Siberia. I like warm better than cold.
Yeah.
They're deep sea vents, but all the ones that were doable, I did. So anyhow, then they added more wonders in 2008. So there's 41, and I've been to 32 out of the 41.
Wow, and that was all in the past 30 years or past 20 years?
Past 30. After
Past
my
30
husband
years.
passed away, I
Okay.
thought, okay, I think I should reinvent myself and become a globetrotter. So I did. So I
That's
really have been
amazing.
all over the world. And biking, well, I told you I biked across the US, but I also went to New Zealand, Australia, did a bike trip that took 71 days in various places, New Zealand, Australia, Tasmania. So that was fun. I have had great experiences. Yeah, it allows me to write interesting Christmas letters. I get a lot of letters from people, and they talk about all the operations they've had and all this sad stuff. I have more exciting stuff. I don't eat sugar at all for a long, long time. No refined sugar. I read labels. You know, people don't, being a scientist, I know, when they put sugar in grams, well, that doesn't mean anything to most people. So I was with somebody once that bought a muffin. It said 27 grams of sugar. Well, 4 grams is a teaspoonful. So would you just sit at a sugar bowl and take out 6 teaspoons full of sugar? But that's how much sugar is in that muffin. But they don't know that. They don't read the labels. So I do read labels, and I don't use sugar at all. So for a long, long time, I think it's really bad for you. So that is one thing that I am very careful about. I grew up, we never had Coke or pop, anything at home like that. We drank water or milk or something like that, but not pop.
Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your insight and your experiences. I truly appreciate it.
Nice meeting you.